Alright folks, welcome back, and let's get this going. So, first things first, Sign Eric needs to go steady with his girlfriend.
I can't wait to do that. That's going to be awesome.
Right, so...
Am I together with Henrietta now?
Yep, you and Henrietta make a handsome couple.
Oh, awesome. Yay.
It is
She's hot this.
It is time for the junior prom. Are you planning to attend? Yes or no?
Yes.
Who will you be going with? Steady girlfriend, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Henrietta looks absolutely stunning in her pink chiffon, I don't know, in her dress. The events that transpire over the course of the evening include you and your date having a memorable time and taking a moonlight stroll on the beach, where you pause for a bit of sandy romance, and you tell her about how you don't like sand because it is rough and harsh, or I don't know. Star Wars Episode 2 sucked. So,
Wow.
that's that. So now we need to start to do either high school episodes or relationship episodes. Let's do some relationship.
Yeah, relationships. That sounds interesting.
Let's go on some dates.
Yeah.
You and Henrietta have spent the evening watching television upstairs in your room. It's a quiet night, and the two of you snuggle into each other's arms and begin to nap. You are disturbed from your peaceful sleep by the sound of birds chirping outside the window. You open your eyes and realize you have fallen asleep for 6 hours. It's 4:37 in the morning. Henrietta's father would have a fit if he ever caught you bringing his daughter home this late. What will you do? Try to sneak Henrietta into her house without anyone finding out? Go over to Henrietta's house and face the music? Or tell Henrietta she's on her own, she shouldn't have fallen asleep for so long?
What was the other one?
Which one?
I mean, the second alternative. What was that?
You can just go over and, I don't know, you can just take her back, whatever, and not really care.
Yeah.
Alright.
I would take her back.
You are ready for a bit of a lecturing, but instead you get an entire study-at-home combination course on ethics, morals, responsibility, and the importance of your life and maintaining the purity and integrity of his daughter. When he is finished, you wish him a good morning, go home, and cook yourself breakfast. What a night.
Oh, nice. Also,
Henrietta has just won an all-expense-paid trip for two to a fantastic ski resort in Vermont. She has invited you to go along with her. There is only one problem. Henrietta's parents absolutely refuse to allow their daughter to take an overnight trip with anyone of the opposite sex. What will you do? Convince Henrietta that she should tell her parents that she is going with someone else? Convince Henrietta to stick up for herself? Have a talk with Henrietta's parents? Or tell Henrietta it's not worth the trouble, she should go by herself and have a good time?
I want to talk with her parents.
You're going to talk to her parents. Oh, this should be good.
Yeah.
You have decided to confront them honestly. Henrietta's dad appreciates this. He answers you with the same honesty. He doesn't trust you alone in the same room with his daughter. He thinks you two will have sex. That you will give her the rod.
Oh,
you mentioned that
you know?
You mentioned that if you wanted to have sex with his daughter, it would be much easier to go someplace closer to home like a local motel. You are proud of yourself for winning points in the logic department. Henrietta's dad says, very true, then gets a very sinister look on his face and continues, just about the only difference, my friend, is that if you did something like that close to home and I found out about it, I would not be inconvenienced by having to travel far to find you and beat you to a pulp.
Wow. That was harsh. Yeah.
There is a new guy in school. His name is Chet Clark. He's built like a linebacker and has handsome, rugged good looks. 2 weeks after he arrives at school, he has made every major sports team. A friend informs you that yesterday Chet asked Henrietta for a date. How do you feel about this? Angry, depressed, anxious, insanely jealous, or no big deal?
Angry. I'm angry.
On whom are you going to take your anger out? Chet or Henrietta?
Chet.
What are you going to do? Confront him and tell him he's a lowlife? Beat him up? Or tell him to keep away or else?
Keep away or else.
Oh, that's it. I thought we would have gotten a scene of you being beaten, but apparently we didn't get that. So...
No, I should probably have beaten him up.
Yeah, I don't think that would have gone well for you. Anyway, there is a new guy in... What? We just had this one. The exact same thing just came up.
It's probably a bug then. Maybe it is...
It is a bug. It's gonna do this...
work.
Yeah. It's gonna just keep doing this. Make a different choice. Like, select a mood that's different. Oh, you're gonna beat him up. Okay. Chat. Fat chance. He makes mincemeat out of you in about 10 seconds. This is no way to handle a confrontation.
Well...
There we go. Now we're moving on. You had to get beat up in order to do it, but... At least you got us out of a glitch. You and Henrietta have just had a nice romantic date. You have a black eye for it, but she doesn't seem to notice. You have treated her well all evening. Movies, a bite to eat, the works. Now you are feeling very romantic, but for some strange reason, Henrietta only wants to engage in idle chit-chat. Every time you try to kiss her, she turns her face away and says, "Let's just talk." How do you feel? Feel like chatting as well, frustrated, or angry and complain?
Oh, yeah, I want to keep my girl, you know, so, yeah, I'll talk.
Fine, Henrietta says. Then please stop chit-chatting with your hand on my leg.
Okay.
You and Henrietta are both thinking through your decisions about going to college. Henrietta wants to go to a college that has strong pre-veterinary program. There are none in that area. Making that college would mean she would need to travel a great distance. You wouldn't see each other for long periods of time. Which one of these things reflects your feelings on this? Angry, mixed feelings, or okay, I guess?
Mixed feelings.
Your ambivalence pulls you in two directions at once. You want to please yourself by having Henrietta with you, and you want to please Henrietta by supporting her decision to go away to college. This is not something that you can work out in one short episode. It is a difficult problem to resolve. Think about it. Is it worth trying to tie Henrietta down close to you if it means the possibility that she will resent you for it later on?
No, that's not true. I must think about that. She must not trick me, and I will become really sad.
While having a soda at Henrietta's house, the phone rings. She picks it up and looks around the room nervously. She walks out the room with the phone, and you think you can hear her say, "I told you not to call me at home." She puts the phone back down and proceeds as if the phone never even rang. You casually ask who it was. Her voice cracks, and she says, "No one." Her eyes dart around the room. How do you feel about this? Suspicious, angry, or confused?
Confused.
Will you keep pressing her for information until she finally tells you who was calling?
No.
She never mentions it again.
Wow, that can be kind of suspicious. Strange.
Henrietta is late for your date, and you are forced to sit in the living room and converse with her somewhat nosy parents. Her father looks you squarely in the eye and asks you, "Son, I'd really like to know what your plans are for my daughter. What would you be inclined to say about this?" "My plans are to take her to the movies and try very hard to have sex with her before the night is through." You can say, "I don't quite understand what you mean by that, sir." Or you can say, "For now, I plan on developing a friendship with your daughter. It's a little too early for us to look very far into the future." I want to have sex with her or intercourse.
I mean, I telling that to her father.
That might not be the best thing to tell to her father.
I think I'm going to say, and the second one is kind of saying that I'm not so very interested in her, but yeah, and I will take the last one.
Okay. What an answer! I'm sure you think it's worth copying down to use in real life. Naturally, Henrietta's father is impressed. He also sees your response as a kind of challenge. You may be so terrific, his daughter might begin to like you more than him. He serves you up another loaded question. So where do you see yourself 10 years from now, young man? Don't worry, after this, there are about 1,000 more. You're on your own. Henrietta has spent the afternoon with her parents, visiting friends of the family. When you see Henrietta, she can't stop talking about John, their son. When Henrietta and John were younger, everyone joked about how nice it would be if they got married when they were older.
Who is John?
Isn't that cute? I don't know. Why do you ask that like I know? Yes, John is a former Marine colonel who served in Afghanistan. I don't know.
Oh, no, okay.
Anyway, Henrietta goes on to tell you that John grew up to be an absolute hunk with the cutest set of dimples on his cheeks. After she finishes her detailed description, she squeals, "He looked just like one of those calendar models. I could have died." How do you feel about this? Fine, no problem, a bit threatened, or insanely jealous?
Fine, no problem.
Then you wouldn't mind if good old John went ahead and took Henrietta to dinner one night, just as friends, would you?
Would I do that? No, it's great. Okay.
You would be fine with that.
If it
You
was
wouldn't mind
not
if
a
he
date,
just bent her over and had his way with her right in front of you, would you? Come on, man up!
It's okay.
No, it's not.
Again, yes. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Oh, no. I wanted you to... Oh, I was going to say yes, that... I thought it was no, you weren't fine with it, but... Oh, it's no that you are fine with it, apparently. So, it was your original answer. Ah. That's so nice of you.
Okay,
Henrietta just made a date with him for this Saturday.
Whoa. She's cheating on me?
Pretty much.
No.
Even though your mother knows you are currently dating someone, she candidly asks if you have ever considered dating her friend's daughter, Gina. What do you think of this suggestion? Tell her to butt out. Tell her you appreciate that she is looking out for you, but no thanks. Ask her what Gina looks like.
I have a girlfriend, so no. I don't care.
You appreciate it, but no thanks. A very sensitive response. Are you always like this? Yes or no?
Yeah, sure, yes.
Wow, you must be very healthy. I'm so healthy.
Okay.
There are none of these experiences you can do right now. Please try again later. Alright.
Okay.
How old are you? You are almost 17.
Okay, awesome. I'm almost, 18, then I can drive a car.
You can drive a car at 16, actually, but whatever. Anyway, Mr. Harvey is a school guidance counselor.
No, not in Norway.
Well, I don't think this is set in Norway, otherwise we wouldn't be having a girl named Henrietta. Anyway, Mr. Harvey is a school guidance counselor who is kind and helpful to all of the students. After 30 years of faithful service to the school, he is leaving. Your teacher requests a donation for a present. Will you contribute? Yes or no?
Yes.
How generous? Any amount will be fine. How much will you donate? 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, $5.
25 cents.
Wow, you're cheap. Just give the least you possibly can. Wow. Much appreciated.
Wow, look at this.
Oh, good. More of a sexual nature. Miss Hummer...
Money is...
Alright, Miss Hummer, your math teacher, is a 26-year-old knockout. She puts any girl in the school to shame. One year, on a class trip to the beach, she wore a bikini. Joey Brandt took pictures of her and sold them around the school for $5 each.
Oh, he's a dirty man. Well, yeah.
You raise your hand to ask her a question. She slinks over to you and leans forward to answer your question. What of you? After she helps you, she walks past and brushes her hip against the desk where your hand is. When you see your friends later, you can brag that you got to feel up Miss Hummer or not say anything.
I got to brag about it. Yeah, sure.
Everyone thinks you are being a complete jerk. No one believes your dumb story, and besides, even if it were true, they still wouldn't want to believe it. They would all like to think that Miss Hummer only has eyes for them.
Wow.
Your grade on your last What?
Why am I always so evil? I don't know.
Your grade...
Wow,
Well, your grade on your last science test was terrible. Today after school, Mr. Hinckley is offering a help session to those who did poorly. Your dilemma, should you go for the help session or to an after-school party at your friend's house? Help session or party?
Party.
Unfortunately, you have trouble trying to catch up with material you didn't understand, and as a result, you fail the next test as well.
Oh no.
The local police are called in to search the lockers for illegal substances. Have you stashed anything in there, besides your now fossilized gym socks, that you don't want anyone to find? Yes or no?
I haven't, no.
The only thing they find are 2 pieces of dried-out pizza from the cafeteria. At first they think the pizza is the product of some sort of satanic ritual. After they have it analyzed, they send it to the Board of Health to inspect the kitchen. Mrs. Harner, your English literature teacher, is getting on in years. Everyone knows that she is a bit hard of hearing. Whenever she gives a test, people can whisper to one another without the slightest chance of being heard. On today's test, everyone seems to be cheating. There are 2 answers that you do not know. Will you cheat with everyone else, or do your own work?
I will do my own work.
Because you didn't cheat, you get those 2 questions wrong, and your grade is lower. The people who did cheat think you were foolish. Your home economics teacher,
That's typical.
Your home economics teacher, Mrs. Eschbach, is upset because no one seems to be paying any attention to her. Most of the students in class are going completely berserk. Matches made a dough bomb and hurled it across the room. Larry stole a frog from science class and covered it with melted chocolate. You are behaving relatively mildly, but just laughed hard at the fact that Jimmy spilled some flour on the front of Jeanette's shirt, then tried to brush it off. All of a sudden, Miss Eschbach singles you out and sends you to the principal's office. What will you do? Go down to the office or protest?
Protest.
Your gentleness characteristic shows that you could probably talk your way out of this situation by asking Mrs. Eschbach to be reasonable. You apologize and she tells you to go back to your place and knock it off. At this point, you can mutter, "But I didn't do anything," or keep quiet.
I didn't do anything.
Maybe you should keep quiet.
Okay, keep quiet then.
Good idea.
Because if I take the other one, I would just start more trouble. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's true.
The teacher asks for a volunteer from the class to help an Italian exchange student, Lola, learn to speak English. You can volunteer or not.
Volunteer, yeah, sure.
Wouldn't it be great if Lola were an incredible-looking, sexy, wild, uninhibited Italian fox? It would be, but as it turns out, Lola is rather ordinary-looking. Do you stop helping her after a short period of time, or stick it through?
Stick it through, yeah.
As it turns out, Lola has a really great personality. She becomes a good friend.
Yay!
Let me make sure I don't accidentally send you over 18 before we do this last mission.
Okay.
Your biology teacher is breezing through the miraculous inner workings of the common cockroach, Blaberus canifer. It is enough to make you lose your lunch. You can't understand a word he is saying, but everyone else seems to be nodding and following along. What will you do? Stop him and ask for clarification, or keep quiet?
For the quality, yeah, the first one.
Your teacher is impressed by the fact that you thought enough of the subject matter to ask him to explain it so that you fully understand it. His explanation makes it almost barely understandable, but at least that's enough to get you through the next quiz. He even gives you a few live souvenirs to take home and study on your own. What would you do? What do you do with the souvenirs? Put them in Mary Jane's lunch bag, set them free in their native habitat, the school cafeteria, or take them home and study them.
That one's kind of easy. I would take them home and study.
Brown nose. The game is calling you names now. The whole class takes a job.
Okay.
The whole class takes a job ability and interest test. Would you like to hear your results? Yes or no?
Sure, yeah.
Your highest area in aptitude is manicure.
What?
It's because you got that manicure. They know you're metrosexual now. The computers, they know.
No. Oh my goodness.
Mr. Horace, a social studies teacher in your school, has a funny habit of twitching one eye when he speaks. You are always sure to get a laugh out of your friends whenever you imitate this twitch for them. One day in class, Mr. Horace is interrupted by someone wishing to give him a message. As he walks over to the door, a friend starts asking you to do Horace. Will you imitate Mr. Horace or tell him not now?
Tell him not now.
It was nice of you to give Mr. Horace a break. He is aware of how everyone makes fun of him, and even though he doesn't show it, he is very sensitive about it.
Oh, that was fun.
Mr. Cromwell, the music teacher, has volunteered you to sing the Star-Spangled Banner at assembly. You can sing it or try to get out of singing it.
I have been in a band, so yeah, sure, I will try to sing it.
You have the confidence necessary to withstand this experience. As a matter of fact, you don't sound half bad.
Oh, good.
You have been given...
I sing it a lot of karaoke, so that's probably
right.
why.
You have been given detention after school for a disturbance you had absolutely no part in. Mr. Black comes in and asks for volunteers to help him wash his car as an alternative to detention. Pretty sure that's abuse of power, but whatever. You can volunteer or remain seated.
Volunteer.
After you are outside, you are handed a sponge and told to get to work. You can work fast and finish quickly as possible, or work slowly and do a lousy job.
Can you repeat the alternatives?
You can work fast and finish as quickly as possible, or you can work slowly and do a really bad job.
Okay. Then I take work slowly.
Alright, so you're going to do a bad job. Alright.
Yeah.
Mr. Black's car is his life. Your disrespect for his black and chrome dream machine makes him furious. There's not much he can say. After all, he said you had to come out and wash it. He didn't say you had to do a good job. Mr. Andre, your French teacher, who everyone in school claim... What? Stop just saying the starts of things. It freaks me out. I'm trying to...
What?
I heard you say the start of a sentence, and then I stopped, and then you didn't say anything else. Anyway.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything. I was like, okay.
Alright, Mr. Andre, your French teacher, who everyone in school claims is gay, maybe it's Andre the Giant. Of course, I don't think he was gay, but whatever, has asked you for your help cleaning up his office. After school, he asks you in front of the whole group of your friends to begin to look at one another and make faces. What will you do? You can tell him you have something to do after school, you can tell him you will help him and then not show up, or you can tell him you will help.
I tell him I will help. Yeah, sure.
This makes you the subject of unbearable teasing. In his office, there is a picture of his wife and his daughter, Monique, who is a beautiful young girl, about your age. He explains that she goes to a private school. You comment on how pretty she is, and Mr. Andre smiles and offers to invite you over so that you can meet her. Ooh la la, whatever. Sure, you already have a girlfriend, but you know what? Screw Henrietta, right?
No. We should do that.
You have committed the most serious of all possible crimes in gym class. You have forgotten your gym shorts. Mr. Black, the ex-Marine drill sergeant, will use this as an excuse to have you drop and do 50. Freddy always has an extra pair of gym shorts, and he is about your size. You can borrow Freddy's shorts or confront Mr. Black with the bad news.
I will confront him.
Attention! Repeat after me. I will not forget my gym shorts ever again, sir. You follow Mr. Black's directions. Good. Now drop and give me 20. Oh well, it could have been worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, see, I would have suggested that you just try and get out of gym class by pretending you're on your period, but that really doesn't work in this version of the game. You are starving, and the cafeteria line seems to be moving very slowly today. Today's menu includes meatballs, bread balls, pizza, cardboard, it's supposed to come after, but they obviously screwed up there, and chicken, mystery of the unknown meat pies. About the only thing edible seems to be the french fries and the white powdered donuts. I would not eat white powdered donuts from a cafeteria, that's all I'm saying. You take a portion of the fries, but by the time you get to the cash register, you have already finished them. You can keep walking through and say you decided to skip lunch or pay for the fries.
Pay for it. Yeah, sure.
It's a good thing you didn't try to sneak through. Millie, the cafeteria lady, can smell french fry breath from 200 yards away. It's time to pick up your new locker assignment. How exciting. You can keep your old locker or request a new one.
Request a new one.
Your new locker is right next to a jock who sweats all over the floor and dents the lockers for fun.
No. Typical.
Alright. So, do you want to get engaged to Henrietta?
Yeah, of course.
Alright, so we're going to try and get engaged to her. See what happens.
Yeah.
After a long and serious talk with her parents, Henrietta decides that the two of you are too young to be engaged right now. Nope, you can't get engaged.
That's stupid.
Alright, well let's do one more of these, and then do the last mission. You are still new to high school. No, you're not! An upperclassman, you're almost 18! For Christ's sake! An upperclassman offers to sell you a discount pass to the school swimming pool for only 50 cents. He claims proceeds will go to charity. Do you buy the ticket? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, because just paying for things you don't know about has always worked out before. Sort of like when you tried to draw Winnie, and then paid $500 for the crayons.
I like to use money.
Your school doesn't have a swimming pool. The charity he is collecting for is himself. Clever. Alright, this time, 11 months. So we're going to do this one now. It is time for the senior prom. Are you planning to attend?
Yeah.
You'll be going with Henrietta, right?
Yeah, sure.
Henrietta looks absolutely stunning in a dazzling formal gown with a plunging neckline, I guess. I don't know anything about. Anyway, the events that transpire over the course of the evening include you and your date have a great time. You suggest that the two of you spend the night in a hotel. She agrees, and you have a romantic evening. The next morning, you go to a quiet diner for breakfast. You've just passed through adolescence phase of life. Family life can be very rough during adolescence. Even though your family expects you to take charge of your life, no one wants to let you have the freedom to do what you want. Judging by your progress through life so far, your family life has not been very good. Spending time at home is like going to battle. At times, you aren't even sure how you can live there. Of course, you don't anymore. Physically, you have not been very healthy. Socially, this phase... You haven't been healthy. You've been beaten up by everyone. Socially,
yeah,
this
sure.
phase of life does present its share of problems. Most of these problems fall into the category of girls. Life must have been pretty simple before they showed up. Your social adjustment to this phase has been remarkable. You're developing a relationship with Henrietta, so you can see how tricky things can get. Henrietta is very tricky. Emotional development, you are remarkably trustworthy. People can pause the video if they want to read these, really.
Yeah.
You're able to resist temptation. Not really, but whatever. Yay, you're not traumatized.
Oh, good.
You're not really that gentle. I don't know what these ending things do. I mean, you've been drinking all through high school, and, like, you've screamed at your father several times. Anyway. But you don't seem to be making too many... You don't seem to be making too many sensible decisions. Intelligence is not only a function of how much information a person can store in his or her head, it's also the ability to learn from experience. You're not that bright. Now that your adolescence is almost over, it's time to be hurled out there into the abyss of the real world. I bet you didn't even know that what you did so far was part of the fake world. Welcome to young adulthood. It's the desire accomplished is sweet to the soul. So, we're an adult now. Yay!
Yay! Awesome! Yay! Haha! Cool. Then I can get my own house and stuff like that.
Of course, that will be next time, because that is it for this recording set of Alter Ego Male Edition.
Yeah, and this has been SETW's version of it, and this is going to be awesome. Keep on watching and have fun.
And I've been Zach, Silly Gooses Inc. We will see you guys later.
We will. Bye-bye.
Kiss, kiss.